Hey there my foodies, welcome back to my channel. Let's make some soft and fluffy Phalourie today with some spicy mango sour. So for my Phalourie, I'm going to go in with some split pea powder, flour, adobo, Sazon, green seasoning, baking powder, the whole full works. Everything that I would have used is listed on the screen here with all of the measurements. Give the video a pause if you'd like to try this recipe. I'm going to go ahead and add everything that I like to add into my Phalourie mixture, give it a good mix, and then I will set it aside for a total of 1 hour so that it can continue to rise with the yeast that I would have put into it. Now that I have everything inside that I want to add to my Phalourie mix, I'm going to go ahead and give it a vigorous mix. As you can see, I'm kind of whipping or beating air into the mixture. That's what you want to do to have a good and soft and fluffy Phalourie. If this mixture does not look like this, your Phalourie texture will come out like dense and not right. I don't know if you guys have ever made Phalourie and it came out not like, you know, the vendors would, how the vendors would sell theirs, or when you buy at the restaurants and stuff. This is exactly what you need to do. So here I'm going in with my mini cookie scooper or ice cream scooper, and I'm just testing to see if I scoop a bit up, if it will form and fall as the way that I like to have it. I usually like to use this scooper because it keeps my hands clean, and I have never learned how to draw Phalourie with my hand, and it's okay if you haven't learned either. You can use this trick. I'm going to go ahead and cover this and allow it to rest for an hour, and then we'll come back and start frying it. But let's start preparing our mango sour. For my mango sour, I'm using 2 half-ripe mangoes. I'm going to go ahead and chop that, and I'll add some garlic and pepper as well. Here I have my hot water, and I'm adding all of my ingredients in. Everything that I would have used is listed on the screen so you guys can see my measurements. I'm going to allow my mango, garlic, and pepper to boil until it's completely cooked, which usually takes about 40 to 45 minutes depending on the mango that you're using. And then I'll show you guys how I usually mix my mango sour up. So I went in for a test there. You guys saw that the mango is fully cooked. I'm going to go ahead and drain it out, or fish it out per se, and add it to my food processor. I like to use my food processor because it mixes up everything very smoothly. If you don't have a food processor, you can use a potato masher and do it the old school way. If you have an immersion blender, you can use that too, or you can put this in a regular blender and it will work just fine. You do your sour the way that you like to have it done. I'm going to go ahead and start mixing everything up on medium speed. Here on the screen, I have all of the additional ingredients that I would have added to my sour. Depending on how runny you like to have your sour, that is how much liquid you'll have. I like mine somewhere in between, so I'm going to only use 1 cup of that liquid that I use to boil my mangoes. I'm going to continue to process this on the food processor until it is to the texture that I like to have it, and then I will pour it out and you guys will see the texture of what it's looking like. This is my finished mango sour. Now let's fry up these delicious Phalouries. This is what my Phalourie mix is looking like after 1 hour of resting. As you guys can see, it has almost doubled in size with the yeast. I'm going to go ahead and remove my cling wrap, and I'm going to go in with a spatula and just release all of that air and bring it back together. You want to make sure you do this because you want to see that your Phalourie mixture is in one soft runny batter like that. If you don't release the air and you start frying just like that, you'll notice that the texture will not come out right. So just go in with a spatula and bring everything back, and it should be fine for frying. As you can see, it's having like a sticky texture there. That's also another indication that your batter was mixed right. Here I'm just showing you guys my little station of how I fry Phalourie. I will take it out of my oil, put it in a plate there with tissue, and allow it to drain for about 2-3 minutes, and then I will transfer it over to my pan there with more tissue. Here I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I usually go about frying my Phalourie. I always like to go in with one as a tester to make sure that my oil is at the right temperature and that my Phalourie will rise up and swell like it did there. I went ahead and added a little bit of oil to my scooper to help it release that batter much more easier. I'm going to go ahead and allow this single Phalourie to continue to fry. I will flip it over and then I will let it get golden brown, and you guys will see that this is the right temperature, which is usually number 6 on an electric stove. That's how I would fry mine. You do not want your oil to be too hot because it will burn the Phalourie and the inside will not cook, and you don't want it to be too cold because then the Phalourie will get oil soaked and then it's going to be like soggy and the texture will not be nice and fluffy. So I'll show you guys what this is looking like after it's done frying. My single Phalourie is done. This means my oil is at the right temperature. My Phalourie batter was mixed correctly. If you notice that something is wrong, you need to adjust your batter at this time or adjust your oil temperature. I'm going to go ahead and start frying up more of my Phalourie, and then I will show you how nice and golden brown they come out after. I have my first batch for fry. I'm going to continue to keep turning them so that it can have a nice and even golden brown fry versus being brown on one side and the other side is not fried properly. You want to do this to make sure that you have a nice even fry on the inside as well. I'm going to continue to do this and I'll show you what it's looking like when it's done. This is what my first batch is looking like. This does not take very long to fry. A total of maybe 4 minutes is what this took me. As long as your Phalourie rises up, that means it's about 95% cooked on the inside. So the other 5% will just cook as you allow it to get nice and golden brown. If your Phalourie does not rise up and come to the top of the oil, something is wrong. It doesn't have enough baking powder, it doesn't have enough yeast, your mixture is not right. So you can probably correct it as you fry, or you may need to start it over. I'm going to go ahead and drain my first set on my plate of tissue. Allow that to sit there for a few minutes so that any excess oil can be drained out on that tissue, and then I will transfer it to the pan in front of that And that will be my final storage container. I'm going to go ahead and fry the rest of my Phalourie, and I will come back and show you guys everything at the end. This is my finished Phalourie. I went ahead and served it up with my spicy mango sour. Doesn't that look so good? They fried up so nice and golden brown. I'm going to go ahead and break into one, and you'll see the texture of what Phalourie should look like on the inside for a nice soft and fluffy Phalourie. If you guys enjoyed the video, do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't as yet, do subscribe to my channel for more delicious recipes. If you have given this recipe a try and it didn't come out right the first time, give it another try. I'm sure it's going to come out right the second time. I did not learn how to do this overnight. It took me a couple tries to get it to this texture, and if you've had my Phalourie, you know how good it can taste. I'm going to go ahead and give it a good dip into the sour. Just look at that. Isn't that a delicious bite of Phalourie and spicy mango sour? Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye!